everyone. Thank you so much for joining me in this workshop today. Like I was saying, unofficially, this is an opportunity for us to get into a practice that it's pretty much on the gentle side with exercises that are aimed at regain space, soften, of course, tissues, relax the muscles. We're going to work a little bit also with the mandible and the upper chest area, also opening right muscles here in the frontal part of the chest and upper back and shoulder. So some things may feel like they are not exactly like on the neck going on, but they are all related, right? So let's start by sitting comfortably. And like I said before, any support that you need to add for you, please add it. And let's do this. Oh, I think someone else is no joining. I thought, let's do this. Let's put our hands, like if you have a pillow, like I have a bolster underneath me, you'll see it in a second when I take it there. But if you have a pillow with you, use your fingertips to press in the back of that pillow and help you lift yourself a little more. And see if you can center yourself and drop your sitting bones and find kind of like the sensation of what we call samastitihi or the tadasana posture when we are standing, but in the seated position. Okay. So once you find that, elevating the spine, if you feel okay by closing your eyes, you can close the eyes and relax the palms on top of your lap. And take a few breaths here just to settle. Welcome, Margie. We are starting. So as you stay in this seat, see if you can find balance between your right and left ears. Phoebe, welcome also. And as you do that, after you find kind of like that balance between your two ears, see if you can pass that on into your shoulders. Find balance between right and left shoulder. And then slowly let your eyes descend. Give yourself this time for nourishing the body, the mind, and the heart. And as we enter this practice today, aimed at free the upper region of the chest, the neck, and the mandible, and also relax the tightness in the common places where we hold tension. We give ourselves a chance to connect with the rise and fall of the breath. And as you sense that rise and fall, a chance to leave anything you don't need for this class. So like my teacher says, we travel light, softening the throat and the sides of the neck. Maybe if you need to or you want to, moving your jaws a little bit side to side. You can even create a yawning gesture to open the mandible and regain space in the throat. Slowly an opportunity to soften, release inner ears. And let the back of your skull float gently up. We bring a quality of stillness to the front of the brain, the side brain, the back brain. And this quality of stillness helps it heal. Allow your weight to shift slightly to the right sitting bone and then to the left. This is a very subtle movement, okay? It's not a big rocking movement. It's just very subtle, so you can feel those two sides a little more and bring awareness there. It's even a little bit like a teeter-totter, very gently. And that will also bring more awareness into our pelvis, right? So you may be feeling a little bit more of that movement in the pelvis. And notice the difference between one side and the other, if you can. And I'm going to add something that may sound a little funny, but as you keep doing this very gentle movement, whenever you go to the right, think of lifting your right inner ear a little higher. And whenever you go to the left, of course, opposite, let that left inner ear lift up. So just a little bit of that. Don't tense the shoulders, keep them soft and relaxed. And just get in, right? So just notice, even if it feels a little funny, just be open and receptive to any sensations that you may pick up. And notice your passage through the center once you go from side to side. And whenever you feel ready or like a little tired, you can come back to the center, finding that center again, orienting your tailbone with the center of your sternum and the tip of your tongue, let it come up towards your palate, the upper palate, sorry. Open the very top of your skull, resting in silence, stillness, and the grace of just be. And before letting go of this seat, invest your awareness into the central channel. So you breathe and the energy, what we call the prana, moves through your spinal cord all the way to the brain stem, up and down a few times. Then slowly bring your palms together in front of you for a moment, keeping this quality of stillness, healing. And then we gently connect the head down to the hands and the heart. Stay connected to that center and the sensations. And then we slowly bring the palms down, releasing and lifting the head, gently opening the eyes. Welcome again. Thank you, Phoebe and Margie, for joining there, and Karina. And okay, so from here we are going to start moving into this gentle practice first. Okay, I don't know if Phoebe you saw from the beginning, but I have a blanket there. So I'm going to start with the blanket on the mat, and I'm going to do a lot of exercises that are pretty gentle, and we'll do many different things. So we will take a long time there, and that's why I find it also nice to have that blanket to feel a little bit of the warmth and also be able to slide. Okay, so that's where we are starting. I'm moving there, and we're going to start in a Shavasana shape. Okay, I'm going to be using some of the extra props like my pillow also a little later, but for now we are just going to be lying down. So take a moment here as you come onto your back, like if you were taking Shavasana, to drop all your structure into the floor and keeping your arms alongside your torso for a moment. Just scan from top to bottom, from the very crown of the head or the back of your skull to be more precise, and notice the way your body rests and drops and connects to earth. While you do this, truly an honest invitation to connect to your own breath. Maybe in this very moment, you can pick up tingling sensations, throbbing, anything that is arising in the body before starting to mobilize a little more, okay? If you can notice where your shoulder blades are, and you can even compare if you feel like one is a little higher than the other, or if one is more pounded than the other, sensations in your chest, the expansion at the top, and slowly, like I said, scanning down towards your feet. We'll try to keep the breath fluid throughout the whole practice. You don't have to engineer any type of breathing, but yes, keep the awareness there so you notice any shifts in your breath or any changes that may happen as we move, okay? Then slowly, we are going to start by bringing the arms out like a T letter. So I'm hoping you have the space for that. And as you relax there through the arms and the palms are facing up, we are going to start pretty simple, just inhaling, and very gently and slowly, we are going to start bringing the head over to the right, then back towards the center, and then very slowly over to the left, and back to neutral. So perhaps you notice with the inhalation, you're gently going towards the first side. The exhale brings you back. And as we start with this gentle movement, the purpose of really moving with the breath. And as you go with the breath, you can also feel if you're pressing a little bit more on the right side of your skull compared to the left, and keep going a few times. My helper is joining the practice. So just a few more. And if you want, you can, with a gentle right approach, create that gentle pressure in the side of your skull as you move towards one side and the other. So feeling a little bit more of that connection in the back and the sides of your structure, right, as you move, and that will give you more sensations that may arise in the sides of your neck, the tissues, the muscles, right, the blood flowing there. Good, now I'm going to start adding a little bit more, okay, so a little bit of a lather practice here. So I'm going to keep going the same way with the head, but now this time, each time I'm going with the head towards one side, the opposite arm will stretch out a little more, okay, than what it was. And then when I come back to the neutral, I'm returning. It may not even be visible, okay, because it's a tiny movement of pulling the opposite arm of the side that I'm going away from the body and then returning, okay? And again, if my chin is going to the left, over to the left, I'm extending the right arm with the palm up a little further out and back to center. And then again, opposite side, trying to almost like is a movement to make space, right, in that shoulder joint without being forceful at all. Okay, keep going here for a few moments. I'm going to just come and check on you guys. Beautiful. I want to make this disclaimer that when we work with the neck, it should never be forceful in any way, okay? In any posture that we do in any yoga practice, we should always be gentle and very mindful the way we move in the neck area, okay? So this is just to remind you, right? So to make sure that you don't force it. Beautiful. Okay, keep going, maybe one or two more. Good. And then, even though you don't really need to look at me to do this one, now what we're going to do is reverse it a little. So what I'm going to do is when I'm going, let's say, towards the right, so the next time you go towards the right, you're going to look at your right hand and you're going to extend that same side that you're looking at. And then I'm returning back to neutral. And then with the next inhalation, second side, I'm going towards the same side that I'm trying to extend, right? And move that shoulder blade away from my midline and back. And again, same side that I'm moving, head and arm, and back to center, over to the second side, and back. Keep going. We'll do a few more of these, okay? Relax the legs. Notice if you're tensing. I just found myself naturally, without thinking, tensing a little bit in my legs or my feet, okay? So that is natural. Our bodies sometimes compensate. So if you can relax the pelvis, relax the legs, the feet, and add one more repetition at your own pace, gentle, with stillness and healing energy into the side and back to the second last side. Then we come back to center. We drop everything, take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Super. Okay, now I'm going to return to what we did again with a little difference. So now again, I'm going to go head opposite to the arm. So the way we were doing before this last one, but with the change that, and I'm going to start moving my head to the left so you can see the movement. As I'm moving my head towards the left, not only I'm going to extend the right arm, but I'm also going to lift it a little bit off the floor. You see, I hope you can see that, okay? Now you can see that I'm not doing this movement, right? I'm not going all the way up. It's a gentle movement. I'm going to say 1 or 2 inches away from the mat. And then I'm returning slowly to release the arm and the head to neutral. Then I'm going over to the right. I don't know if you can see my second side because it's close to the wall, but I'm doing the opposite, okay? So that will be the movement, and we are going to do that one for several repetitions. Just a reminder, so when you're moving head over to the left, the right arm will be the one gently moving away from the body and lifting off just an inch, maybe 2, and then you return. And then over to the second side. Please don't rush, right? I'm just guiding so you know what's coming. But really take it with your breath. Even though in my head I want to share a lot of things, truly I want to keep the quality of stillness and healing. So if we don't get to everything, it's fine. We'll do another class another time. Nice. Take 1 or 2 more like that. Good. And after the last repetition that you're taking, again, you will return to center, of course, dropping shoulders, dropping shoulder blades, and taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Beautiful. Then from there, after you take that big breath in and out, I will do that a lot of times because it's like a breath in between to, I'm going to say reset and feel the body right before moving again. Now we are going to take the arms gently down towards being alongside the trunk like we did in the beginning, Shavasana style. And besides that, I'm going to slowly bend the knees and put my feet onto my blanket. And we are going to start a movement that we are going to repeat also several times. So I'm going to keep my head heavy without lifting off my blanket. I'm also going to keep my arms relaxed and down. And I'm just going to do movements with my shoulders. Of course, it will be pulling the muscles behind, right? But I'm going to bring right shoulder up in the diagonal towards the left knee. And then I'm going to release it down. Then I'm going left shoulder towards right knee and returning. This is going to start activating your upper back muscles more, right? So notice sensations that are coming there. In these neck workshops that I've been teaching for a few years now, I always explain that some of the practices, they are what we call passive. So like we did in the very beginning, right? Like moving the head side to side. Some other ones are more active. So we are trying to also teach our muscles to be more fired up and create more strength, okay? So this one is a little bit more active and going towards the diagonal and returning, trying to keep the head heavy over second shoulder and back. Again, we'll repeat a few more. Notice changes in the breath, then return. We'll add 2 more repetitions, one way and the other. When you finish your last one, again, release. Feel the sensations, perhaps very gentle, maybe not much, but we reset. And now I'm going to return to the movement, but I'm going to add a little more. So now if you want to watch for a second, when I start with my right shoulder going up towards the left knee, I'm going to gently lift my left foot off the mat. Now, as you can see, I hope this is not this, okay? I'm not doing a very like close movement towards one another. It's pretty gentle. My foot is lifting, I'm going to say 2 inches off the mat, okay? So that will start activating my spine and also the lumbars, okay? So whenever you feel ready, just a touch, you send that shoulder, the knee lifts a little, of course, and then release. Second side, just a touch of the foot lifting off the mat as I send the shoulder towards that side and touching down. And again, lifting and back down. Keep going like that. Lifting slowly. Very nice. And releasing. While you do this, just as a reminder or an awareness moment, this is in a very gentle manner what we do when we walk. So if you think of it, right, we are doing that movement where one leg is moving and the shoulder is kind of like coming towards that, okay? So we are recreating those movements, but with the support underneath so we can stretch and open up those muscles, okay? So just a couple more. And feel the twist there of the torso, the spine. And remember to go slow. And then when you're done, release, right? When you got to the last repetition, release there. You can extend the legs again, relax the shoulders and the arms, and take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Beautiful. Okay. Now, the next one that we are going to do, in this one, I'm going to move the arms so I can lace my fingers, bring the hands behind the head. My elbows are touching my blanket, and I'm going to re-bend my knees to place the feet down on the mat. Okay, this one is one that I do a lot in my classes, and I really like it because not only we are accessing our neck and upper back, but it also is a really nice way to open our side body. Okay, so from here, what I'm going to do is very gently again, slide my right elbow down towards my right hip as the left elbow is moving up towards the wall behind me. If you want, you can gaze towards that left elbow, the one going up behind you. And then with the exhale, I'm sliding back into the center. Very important, I am not lifting my head or my upper back at all. That's why it's important that blankie there, okay? So we can slide, taking that right elbow up when you're going to the second side, left elbow down towards the hip and returning, okay? And again, I'm going slowly, inhaling, finding that sensation in the neck muscles, right? One side is stretching, the other one is compressing, and then returning to center. Then slowly going over and back. Keep going a few times. We are stretching a little more, getting into right side armpit, intercostal muscles. Even I just heard a click in my wrist. So as I'm moving and I'm stretching right through the arms, I'm also making a little bit of extra space in the wrist area. And the clicking sounds and the snapping sounds are extremely normal as we move and we find more space, okay? So just a couple more of repetitions, going slowly one way and the other. And notice if your elbows tend to want to lift off, okay? And see if you can release gently down towards the floor. Very nice. Whenever you come back to center and you're done, don't take the arms out. We're going to stay there for a moment because we're going to keep the same shape for the next exercise. Good. Okay. Now that you're back there to the center, in this next one, I'm going to have my knees bent, feet down, and I'm still going to keep the hands behind the head. This I also do a lot in my classes, and it's very much representing the cat-cow motion. Today, we are going to also add some other stuff, okay? But the idea here is to add a little bit more of attention into the neck and the shoulders. So I'm going to inhale, pressing my tailbone down, sending the lumbars in, and also gently starting to open my throat by sending the chin up. My elbows are pressing the floor or the blankie. And then with the exhale, I'm tucking my tailbone in, bringing elbows towards one another, belly in, and lifting the upper back. Okay, let's start with a few of those. And then again, inhaling, go kind of like slow motion so you can feel that tailbone pressing into the mat, the neck opening up. This exercise, working with the opening of the neck, is very helpful for the thyroids. Okay, so a good way also to keep ourselves healthy in the organs, the tissues, and everything moving inside of us, okay? And again, inhaling, very gentle, slow pace. And exhaling. And again, notice if there are little sounds or clicking or sensations of the ribs, you know, like setting into place. Good. The next time you go into what we call the cow, which is when we are arching, add the opening of your mouth. And then when you come back and exhale, go towards the neutral or the regular position, closing the mouth, okay? So now we add a little bit more of the jaw and the mandible action, opening up. I'm talking, so for me it's harder, but when you're going up into that arch, opening the mouth, and then with the release, you close. Good, take a couple more like that. Cat cow, let's say, with that added motion of the mouth. Super. And then an extra option. This is an invitation because it's helpful for the neck and the jaw line, okay? But you don't have to if you don't like it. Anyway, no one is looking, but it can be helpful also when you go into that opening of the mouth to take your tongue out, like really like out, you know, like you're trying to, like there's a posture that we have in yoga called the lion's pose, where we work on opening the mouth and taking the tongue out. So it reminds me a little bit of that, but it truly works with the tissues in the mandible and the neck. So if you want, you can add that a few times. And you feel that expansion in the mouth and the jaws. Beautiful. Super. Okay, finish the one that you are doing. And now to that, I'm going to add a little bit more activation of core here and everything together. So now maybe we let go of the opening of the mouth, but we're going to repeat the motion of arching. And this time with the exhale, as I come up, I'm also going to bring my knees towards my elbows. And then with the inhalation, I'm returning to that first position, okay? Exhale, elbows in, knees towards the elbows. There's no twist here. We're trying to compact our core a little more, okay? Inhale, sending that chin up, feeling the throat open up. Exhaling, coming in. Adding two more to this, and then I'll switch the exercise. Good. Once you're done, release the arms alongside your torso. Take another deep breath. Keep the knees bent for the next one coming. Good. And in this one, we are going to return to that motion that we did, shoulder moving towards the knee. Remember, we were doing a little bit of those shoulder shrugs, but this time I'm going to change it a little, okay? So we still keep the head down without lifting off the blanket, but this time when I move that right shoulder towards the left, yes, I'm going to bring my knee a little closer. I'm still not doing a jerk movement that I'm pushing them one to the other, okay? But I'm lifting a little more, so I'm activating the core also a little more there, and then releasing. And notice again, sensations here a little different as I bring that knee a little closer and back. And you will notice also how there's more movement in your head and neck, and there's also possibly more movement in your pelvis, right? As we go and come back. Going one way and releasing, other way and releasing. Keep going a few times. And I find it very interesting in this exercise, even though it looks like it's simple, how you can perhaps receive or perceive those like differences in the pulling of the neck muscles on one side and the other. At least that happens for me. If you have more tension on one side, maybe you can kind of like sense those things. Good, just adding a couple more. In this one, what we are doing is that we are taking the shoulder into an internal rotation, what we call, and we are contracting what we call the pectoral region, right? So we are contracting those muscles and then opening up. Beautiful. And again, it's a motion that looks very much like walking, right? This one will be walking maybe a little faster because the knee is coming a little closer. Good. Then slowly release, extend the legs again. Whenever you're done, take a deep breath in and breath out. Good. Okay, beautiful. Another one. Okay, so for the next one, we are still down. We are still on our support. I'm going to rebend the knees again, and I'm going to extend my arms again to the T position, okay? And from here, I know this will be a little bit of a challenge, even though it's a simple movement, but we're going to challenge ourselves to lift the arms all the way up until they get above your nose, but in a very slow way, okay? So I want you to, as you start lifting, keep the palms soft and relaxed, and like 1 inch at the time. My left arm is more difficult because I have the wall, but slowly start bringing the arms towards, like I show, right, towards one another. But I want you to feel the movement in your upper back, the shoulder blades, right? The motion of the shoulders as you bring the palms together. Very slow, slower than what you're even thinking or what you're even going, okay? And when your palms touch and you get there, imagine someone pulling from your wrists. The head stays where it is, okay? But imagine someone pulling from your wrist and lengthening and lifting up towards the ceiling in your place, in your room, and noticing the sensation in the upper back. Good, and then release the shoulders down. Now I'm going to do another exercise starting from this point, okay? So if you want to watch it one time, it's again a simple thing. I'm going in this one to try to not bend my elbows at all as much as possible. And I'm going to keep the palms together also as much as possible as I take both arms to the left and the chin moves over to the right. Then I'm returning with my exhale. And I'm switching over, both arms to the right, chin to the left. Back to center. And again, both arms straight, palms trying to stay as close to one another as possible, chin to the right. And coming back, or the way you're going, right? Any side that you're going, the head is going opposite, and keep going. I want to tell you a couple of things as you keep doing this motion, okay? So in this one, as you go very slow, the idea is that you also bring awareness into the sides of your skull. And as you keep repeating the motion, you maybe create a little bit of extra pressure on the side of your skull, to the side, of course, that you're going. And you notice any pulling or nerve stuff or tingling that may show up, okay? Lisa, it looks great. I'm checking guys, Steven also. You will look great. So go slow, very nice. Good. Every time you come back to the center, try to keep those arms lifted straight, okay? Keeping the palms together. And this is a nice way to unwind your neck from the shoulders. Feel the connection with the side of the cranium, like I said. And now I'm going to add another challenge to this. And notice if you're moving your pelvis a lot and see if you can make it a little bit more neutral. Okay, sometimes the pelvis goes side to side with us. So maybe as you're moving arms to one side and head to the other, see if you can press the pelvis down, then back to center, and then to the other side. Good. Keep going a few times because I want to also say that this is an exercise that it's helpful to feel also what's going on in your rib basket. So maybe you feel also perhaps as you keep going a little bit of sensation of that rib cavity expanding. Good. Super. Nice. The repetition that you are taking, finish that one, side to side, right? Over one side and the other. And when you come back at the center, again, you're going to extend the straight arms up towards the skies whenever you're there. And then slowly, we are going to bring the arms, this time the reverse, okay? So I'm going to very gently and slowly feel now the movement again in the shoulder joints, the upper back, going towards the arms, touching down slowly whenever they get there. When you get all the way down, take a deep breath in and deep breath out. Notice the release in the head. Good. Okay, another one here. We have a few more lying down like this, okay? Now I'm going to slowly bring my arms up towards the skies, and I'm going to cross my right arm over the left. And from here, I'm going to try and keep the elbows above one another or a little further, and then take the eagle arms. Okay, this is what we call the eagle arms with the palms touching. This situation, I'm going to say, can be a little challenging, okay? So if the backs of the palms get to touch, you can stay there. If this feels like it's bringing tension into your shoulders, then you just put your hands on top of the shoulders or hugging your shoulder blades, and you do the exercise from this place, which is exactly the same, okay? Now, either or, I want you to try and bring your elbows up towards the skies. Some of you did this with me maybe this past week because I was testing it and I was using it as a little bit of a preview, okay, from the neck workshop. So what I'm going to do here with the right arm being on top of the left, that gives me the cue that my arms are going to move to the left. So that means that they go opposite to the upper arm, okay? My head is going to go to the opposite side of the arm. So I'm going to try and send both my arms to the left as I bring my chin over to the right. And then I'm exhaling, returning to center. We are going to do 5 to the same side, okay? So I'm not going the opposite way yet. And again, inhaling, head to right, arms to the left, and back to center. Inhale and exhale. Keep the elbows going up, okay? 2 more if you're going with me. Try to slow it down. Good. Once you came back after that number 5, let's say if you did the 5, inhale, send the arms up overhead or really towards the ceiling. And with the exhale, I'm going to switch and put my left arm on top. And again, find that eagle shape or hands to shoulders, okay? Once you find it, stay there for a moment. Lift those elbows up towards the skies And now both arms will go to the right while my chin and head, they are moving to the left. 5 times, same thing, okay? Inhaling, exhale for the return. Inhale, exhale. Keep going like that. A couple more, a few more. Notice maybe again differences in sensations on one side compared to the other. Perhaps you need to soften the arms if that feels like it's a little bit too constricted. No worries, put the hands on the shoulders and you do that motion a few more times. Good. Whenever you're done, if you return to the center already, release the arms, let them drop alongside your torso, and take a couple of breaths to reset and feel. Maybe you feel a little bit more tension or tingling in the neck, muscles, the tissues. It's normal. We are like, right, working very detail oriented in that area. Good. Very nice. Okay, you're not going to believe this, but I'm going to say now, then we are going to return to where we are, but I'm going to say, just send one arm to the side, the one that naturally goes for you, bending the knees, roll over, and we are going to come onto our belly. So you go onto our belly. So I'm going to move this way because I think that it's easier to see me without the wall in front of me. So I'm coming onto my belly. And this time I still keep my blankie with me. I'm going to bring my forearms in front of me with my elbows a little wide, so they're a little wider than my shoulders. I'm going to extend my legs and I'm going to let my toes rest. So I'm not tucking my toes under yet. We are going to do some of that, okay? Once I get there, I'm going to put my forehead on top of my palms and take here 3 breaths. And these 3 breaths, I'm lifting so you can hear me better. But in these 3 breaths that you take long and steady, think of sending the energy towards the center of your chest, where the sternum is, okay? Try to relax the chest down, soften the skin in the face, relax the jawline. Good. And after the 3rd breath, lifting the head just a little. From there, what I'm going to do is to release, right? The palms being one on top of the other. Look at, if you can, at what I'm going to do. I'm just going to slide my elbows a little further forward and then bring the palms like if I'm doing the Namaste position. Drop the head. And as you walk, I'm lifting just because I want you to hear me. But as you walk the elbows or slide really the elbows out, notice the stretch there for the armpits, relaxing the head down, bring the hands behind the head or towards, coming towards behind the head, okay? So notice that and take a couple of breaths here. Notice the sensation in the upper back, the armpits, and keep breathing into your center for just a couple more times. Good. Super. Now I'm going to guide it from here, but I'll go and I'll show it in a moment. Okay, so slowly you're going to bring your forearms down and the palms down towards your mat. Good. And again, go back into that portion, that shape that I am showing here in front of the camera, that it's the palms one on top of the other, a little bit wide in the elbow, so a little more than the shoulders. And now what I'm going to add is slowly you're going to tuck your toes and start contracting your kneecaps and your thighs more. You will feel the lift of the knees, of course, of the sticky, right? So we are tucking the toes under and pushing through the heels. I'm gonna go and show you. Okay, so I'm staying in this belly down position with my elbows a little wider than my shoulders, like I said before. And now I'm tucking my toes. And as I'm contracting my kneecaps, I can feel how now my thighs and my knees are not touching my blanket. This is more of a back bend, okay? You may already start feeling it. So as you do that, I want you to try and drag your navel towards your spine and lengthen the sacrum towards your heels, okay? And then put the forehead down on your hands again. Just feel that action of lengthening. And now from there, after you feel that sensation, the legs are fiery, right? I'm going to push into my elbows and forearms to lift the chest as I send the shoulder blades down my back, okay? This is very much like when we do cobra pose, right? Or those gentle back bends to go into bigger stuff later. But in here, what I want you to do is to feel how the pressure in the forearms and elbows helps you lift and lengthen the chest and roll those shoulder blades down your back, okay? So we are supporting shoulder here, shoulder joints to create more strength and be able to separate or make more space in the neck. Then slowly release and tuck the toes. Bring the forehead down to your hands and take a couple of breaths. Notice again if there's any sensations arising in the neck area or upper back. Maybe there's a little bit of tiredness, which is normal, okay? Good. Good. Okay, good. From here, we are going to keep a similar shape, but now I'm going to bring my hands under the shoulders so I can push. I'm going to tuck my toes and with my knees close to one another, almost touching. I'm going to say, if you can do that, I'm going to push my sitting bones towards my heels, and I'm going to bring my elbows down again into my blankie, okay? The palms can be again into the Namaste position, but what I want to do here is a little bit of lifting my elbows and moving them a little further towards the top of my mat. And then I'm bringing again my hands towards the back of my head and feel the stretch there for the armpit chest and keep pushing the sitting bones down, releasing the head down. If the head is dangling and not touching all the way down, it's okay as long as it doesn't hurt, okay? If you need to add there a little bit of a blanket or a pillow, please do. Take a few breaths here. And again, notice activation there in the neck, the upper back. Good. Okay, then slowly come up towards a seat on your heels. Just for a moment, see if you can bear with that seat, okay? Some of you know me and you know that I do that often in my classes. So I'm tucking my toes under, sitting on the heels just for a moment. Let the palms relax. Relax the shoulders down and back and feel the shoulder blades sliding down, okay? So those scapulae like wings moving gently down, giving space in the neck, the collarbones, and the back of the skull floating up towards the skies. If you feel like this is a lot of weight to bear on your heels, you can change the position by bringing the hands forward, okay? Just another breath here. Beautiful. And then slowly come onto hands and knees to release this and tap your shins and feet a few times. Nice. Good. And believe it or not, I'm going to tell you again to go on your back like Shavasana shape or Shavasana posture. So go there again, find your supine just a few times. Then we are moving out of the blanket and put the arms to the sides. This is simple, but I want you to stay there for a moment. So lie down, relax the shoulders, relax the head, and I'll show you in a moment what else we are doing. Good. Okay. So I'm going to change sides. Now, in this supine position, a few of the last ones that we are going to do here, what I'm going to do is to kind of like do a scrubbing, quote unquote, action of my shoulder blades. So what I'm going to do is kind of like move one down and the other one up. So you feel it in your blankie, right? Like how the shoulder blades, almost like if they are walking, let's say, or going up and down, okay? So we start by doing that a few times. And again, notice your pelvis, if it's leaning a lot towards one side or the other, and see if you can keep it firm. If it helps you to bend the knees and put the feet down, you can do that instead, okay? Now, as you do this, we started kind of like going a little, I'm going to say medium pace. Now I want you to slow it down. So go one, and maybe you stay there for a count, and then you reverse and you stay there for another count, okay? Just a couple of those. Shrug, shoulder shrugs, let's say. One more. And then you return to center, neutral, drop everything, take a deep breath in, and release. Good. Then from here again, we are going to roll over to the side and we are pressing up into hands and knees. I think this is one of the last ones before we remove the blanket, but I'm going to come into a child's pose in this one. So I'm widening my knees. My sitting bones are coming down towards my heels if you're new to the child's pose. And similar to something we did before, what we're going to do here is again to put the elbows down and watch this. Put the forearms down for a moment. Look at your forearms where they are. And now you're going to press into the elbows and lift them again and try to lengthen a little further forward before you return with the arms again down, okay? So find that, so we create more space in the armpit chest area. Then you're going to drop the head. Notice if you need there a pillow, a block, or something under the forehead. And once you went as far as you can with those elbows and forearms, then you're going to take again the Namaste position with the palms and bring the hands behind the head. And in this one, we're going to stay for 3 to 4 breaths because I really want you to breathe into the sides of your body, from your elbow spinning down into the into the blankie, all the way into the sides, to the armpits, going towards your side body and hips, okay? And like I said, this is the last one that we will do before we remove the blanket. Well, I think there's also one more, actually one more. Good, another breath there. Beautiful. Then you slowly, whenever you're done with that breath, the last one that you're taking, release forearms down again. Beautiful. Press with your palms to sit up. Very nice. I was here just checking in. And before we remove the blanket, so from here we were in the child's pose. I'm going to say, tuck your toes again. Bring your knees close to one another for one more time and sit back. A little bit more practice in this, which is very good for the back of the body all the way to the crown of the head. So a deep breath in here. See if you can find again that samastitihi or tadasana feeling in your spine without tensing shoulders. Drop them down. Good, and then release that. Again, shake a little bit through the feet and the shins. Good. And we are going to come out of that blanket setup and take it out to the side. Okay, we're going to be using props again soon, but now from here, once you remove your stuff, beautiful, you're going to come onto all fours. So hands and knees on your mat. Now it needs to be sticky because we're going to use more of the sticky portion, okay? I'm going to be doing a few things that if you feel like they are a little bit too much, then you're going to stay in all fours, right? Whenever you need to stay in hands and knees, if you, let's say down dog, or those things feel a little bit intense, or you need to release and wait, okay? So come into the hands and knees position there for a moment. Beautiful. Find those hands with fingers spreading under the shoulders. Notice the base of your thumbs. So I want that area that it's like a pad, and I'm showing it in the computer, to be really grounded, okay? So sometimes I say to all my students, if some of you know me, to dial the hands a little bit out, just to give a little bit more space in that area to be really grounded, because that area is very much connected to the inner line of your arms, and that area is very important to create that power in the arms and the upper back, okay? So check that. Keep the knees under your pelvis and give yourself 3 of the cat-cows. You know, when we do the inhalation and we arch and we gently lift, and then with the exhale, we push the mat away. We feel the shoulder blades opening up and the chin coming in. Very nice. Go with the breath. Don't rush. Good. Nice. Okay. When you are done, no rush. I see you guys moving, which is great. We are going to return to some similarities of what we did before. So now I'm going to keep my hips above my knees, but I'm going to bring my forearms down. My forearms are going to be, of course, in front of my elbows, but what I wanted to say is that the elbows, they stay under my shoulders, okay? After I find that, I'm going to lace my fingers in front of me, and I'm making sure that I see a drawing that looks a little bit like a triangle, right? In between my forearms and the line that would go from elbow to elbow. Very important to press those elbows down like spikes towards the floor. The forearms are very much also doing the same thing, pushing your sticky mat away from you. So I'm doing the action of moving, right? My pushing with my my forearms, so my chest comes towards my legs. I'm going to tuck my toes, wide stance, so it's a little wider than my hips. And from there, I'm going to try and lift up into our first lift off. So this is like a down dog, but it's called dolphin. And I'm going to release the head here, because the power should be in your forearms and your elbows, and your head should be dangling, okay? So it's just releasing, very good, releasing the neck, Steven, that looks great. Relax the neck, relax the head, and do the power through your elbows like spikes, and the forearms pushing your mat away. Now, if you want, you can pedal your feet a little bit, even though I know that in this posture is a little bit funnier or a little bit more challenging, but make sure that that chest is coming towards your legs, okay? Now elevate the hips up, 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 up towards the skies. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out, inner thighs back. So the inseam of your pants, they want to go back towards the wall behind you. And then you bring your knees down and you take a child's pose. Very nice. So we are creating a little bit more of an empowering action into upper back, shoulders, and connecting with the neck, okay? Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Beautiful. Okay. I want to show you something when you sit up slowly towards, yes, a seat just for a moment. And I'm going to tell you what's coming because I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see it super well when I show it. Okay. So now we're going to come into a downward facing dog without the forearms, right? The regular way, quote unquote, because it's not regular. I'm going to show you. We are going to be grabbing the mat from the sides and using the pads of the thumbs, right? Nilgum knows this because I talk about this a lot in my classes, but we're going to do that with a little difference, right? So I'm going to grab the mat and push away to come to down dog. Now, when I'm in down dog, I'm going to say, and this is what I want to tell you before going there, that when we are there in the down dog, I'm going to say, now we're going to try and move the head side to side in that down dog. So it's kind of like I'm going to try and bring one ear towards my inner upper arm and then towards the other side. But I'm not going to tense the neck. I want to keep the neck like long and the head heavy and just do that kind of like a little bit of swinging motion, okay? Going side to side. I'm just saying it because in case you cannot see my head very well in between my arms when we get there, okay? But you get the idea? Do like this or no? Yeah. Yes, cool. Okay, so let's go slowly. First, let's set it up. So I'm going to put my 4 fingers, right, under my mat. I'm checking that my pads in my thumbs are really rounded. I'm pushing with that, and I'm pushing, of course, with my hands and wrists. And then from there, I'm moving my knees a few inches behind my hips. My feet are wide for my down dog always, usually a little wider than my hips. And I make I'm going to say inner creases of my elbows move a little bit towards each other and up towards the skies. It's not extreme, but just a little bit of that external rotation to help with the opening in the chest. And then I'm going up. And I keep my knees bent because I want to really push my sitting bones and my hips up towards the skies. I try to keep that opening in the collarbones and the chest, okay? And I want you to try and keep the shoulder blades broadening behind your chest, okay? Not coming towards each other, sinking, but broadening. So there's a little bit of space there. And then see if you can do a little bit of that movement that I said before. So bringing one ear towards one upper arm and then to the other side. And you can, of course, extend the legs if you want or stay with the knees bent, okay? I'm doing a little bit of that movement side to side. I want to come and sit. Yay, good job. Nice. Push the mat away, Lisa, so those arms become straight. Yes, those elbows should be like sticks, okay? Inner arms towards one another. Beautiful. And then bring the knees down. Take a child's pose for a moment or sit back to rest and notice sensations there. Good. Good. Nice. Then slowly sit up. And here we go. Next friend, we are going to take a belt. Okay, this one that I'm going to do today is, I think, one of my favorite ones from the from the workshop. It's something that I don't do often in class, but now that I was reminded when I was preparing it, I think I'm going to bring it to my classes more. So what I'm going to do is a loop with my belt that it's not super big. It's very hard for me to tell you exactly how big because I don't know measurements in American, but I'm going to say, I don't know, like a San Bernard dog. I don't know, like something like this. Okay, it's not super big. You can see it's not like leg distance, right? Maybe let's say kind of like shoulder to shoulder, even though it's not what I need. But okay, more or less shoulder to shoulder. And then I'm going to invite another couple of friends, my friends, the blocks. So if you have something that looks like blocks, you're going to bring them. You may not need them, but I want you to have them just in case. Okay. Okay. So My blocks, I'm going to put them on the sides of my mat because I'm going to use the length of the mat, and my belt is with me, okay? So first thing that we're going to do here is to widen the legs. We're going to come into triangle pose. So I'm just giving it away just from the very beginning. So the shape that we're going to try and achieve is triangle, but of course with some work for the neck and the head and upper back. So as I have my feet wide, and I already feel if like that distance for me feels okay, then I'm going to turn my right foot out to the right. So we start going towards the right first. My block, I'm going to make sure that I have it behind my shin in case I want to go and touch there. I usually keep them the tallest setting, but it's your choice, okay? Now look at what's going to happen because this is the fun part. So now I have my belt, okay? And I'm going to, and I will need to come there so you can see it well, but I'm going to put my head inside and don't laugh, but I'm going to show you. Wait, I'm going to take my hair out. So I want you to put the belt like if you are going to play tennis and you have a headband, you know, in front, but we are going to hold it. So I just put it above my ears, you see. So it's hooked into, well, I'm trying to be careful because of my microphones, but I'm trying to hook it right above my ear so it doesn't fall, okay? That's the idea. Good. So I'm going back to my triangle shape, and I'm going to hold this from the tail on my left hand, okay? I'm gonna come then and describe it better when we are there, but I'm holding it with my left hand because I'm going towards the right, and this one I'm going to put it down, okay? So before I go there, you know me, some of you, I'm an alignment teacher, so I want you to make sure that you have heel to arch alignment, or as best as possible to have better support through the legs. Fire your glutes so you're supporting the lower back and you're pressing the glutes towards the front of the pelvis. And once you're there, you're going to keep that left hand in front of you like I'm doing, okay? So I'm pulling forward with my belt. I'm going to take the right arm out, okay? Nice. So it's out towards the right because I'm going to go that way, okay? Once I have these, I'm still activating my glutes again to make sure that I'm not losing that, lengthening the torso forward. And you're either going to find your block or your shin. I don't really mind which one, okay? Whichever place feels good, and it doesn't have to be super far down either, okay? Good. Now with my left hand, what I'm going to do is, of course, my head is pushing into the belt, right? Or breaking into the belt while I'm pulling. And with my left hand, I'm going to slowly start taking my head up towards the skies. Okay, so what I'm doing is coming towards the triangle, right, form, but I have that support that you can feel, right? So there's no tension in the neck. Stay there so I can come. Good. So Phoebe, your, wait, let's see if I can see you better. Okay, no. Good. Okay, super. Margie, that looks good. What for me, what's very interesting in this exercise is that it helps you understand how you can take this shape that we do many times, of course, without the belt, without putting tension in the neck, okay? Because you have there like that support and you know where to line up your neck, right? With that help of the belt without tensing, okay? I hope you can feel a little bit of that. Lisa, keep hugging the right butt towards the front of your pelvis. So the glute coming in. Good job, guys. Take a breath there. I'm gonna come back. So we come back together because I want to show you how. Sorry that I went out. Okay, so now what I'm going to do from here is to return first with the left arm to the head where it was before. So it comes back towards the front. And then you push through your feet and you come back. Okay, good. Now I'm going to change. My right hand is going to hold the belt and I'm going to turn the right foot in, left foot out. Okay, We are reversing, of course. Now my left hand is the one that is going to be supported. The right one is the one that is going to help me do the movement. So I'm pressing into my belt with my head so it stays above the spine, right? I hope you can feel that also. Lift the back inner arch. Whenever you're ready, let's go with the left arm out. Beautiful. And now I'm going to lengthen, 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 lengthen. Go as far as it feels appropriate for you. Keep the face facing forward, okay? Good. And now from there, slowly start sending that belt up towards the skies. Lean into that strap, okay? Look up and feel that sensation of opening up and having that support for the neck, okay? Take another breath. Beautiful. Margie, extend the right arm. Make it like long, go far. Yes. Good. Okay, now you're going to first turn the head back towards the front. Good, and then come back up. Yay. Good, take that belt out. Bring the feet together. Relax a little bit through the shoulders. Yes, release there. Take a deep breath in. And deep breath out. Okay, super. Now we are going to, wait, I want to remember. Yeah. Okay, now we are going to open that belt a little bigger. Okay, so now, yes, I'm going to make it a little bigger than before. I'm going to stay close so you can see what's coming. This also, we did a little bit of a preview, I think on my Friday morning class. So maybe Nilgun, maybe you saw this already. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to make sure that my buckle and my tail in my belt, they stay in front of me because I'm going to get inside. They stay in front of me and the tail goes downward, okay? And then I'm going to get inside and I'm going to also go under, so my armpits are inside, okay? I mean, my armpits are like touching the belt. So upper back, we turned a little, upper back, under the armpits, okay? And you see how I have my tail here. Okay, so now I'm gonna go down a little so you can see me better. From here, I'm going to make sure that my belt, my buckle, sorry, stays on the side. And then I'm going to put my head inside. So now you see how my belt is right on my neck and in my upper back or shoulder blades. Once I have that look, I'm like pulling, 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 pulling until I make it snug, okay? But important, that's why the belt there, it's important that you have the tail and you can pull down. I know it takes a little bit of practice and it feels a little bit like you have like a little bit of, I don't know, it feels good. It holds the shoulders, right? And the shoulder blades in place. Okay, so watch again in case you need it. Okay. I wore white on purpose today. So you could see when I do these things. Okay, good, super. So once you're there and you found it, okay, take your time. I know that some of you are still finding it. Okay, important that it doesn't feel loose. It should feel snug. But of course, you have to be able to breathe and feel okay in it, okay? And then I'm going to come into Tadasana. Feet together, inner thighs back, sacrum long towards your heels, and just take a few moments here in Tadasana with the arms alongside your torso, breathing into the belt behind you, mainly in the back of the shoulder blades. So see if you can send the breath there. Don't tense the shoulders, okay? So just standing tall, spreading your toes. Feel there the support. Good. And now we are going to add a little bit of movement. I'm going to go sideways here, okay? So standing Tadasana, slowly, as you pay attention to the movement in the shoulder joints and the shoulder blades, slowly start bringing the arms in front. You may feel a little bit constricted, which is normal because I want you to feel the shoulder blades and the joints in doing that movement, okay? I'm not going super far. Keep breathing into the belt behind the chest. And then slowly bring the arms down. Keep, of course, the head above the spine, right? And if it feels like you need to loosen it a little bit or tighten it up a little, do so, okay? And again, inhaling, feel the movement in the shoulders, the upper back, the blades, breathe into them. Maybe you go a little further, perhaps, with the arms. And then you return. Slow movement. Good. We're going to try and do the same, and we are going to add the shape of the chair pose. So I'm going to slowly lift arms. Keep pressing into the belt with your shoulder blades. You don't have to go all the way up, okay? Maybe 3/4 or something like that. And then bend the knees, press into the heels, drag the belly in, lift through the sternum up towards the nose. And if you can, from there, you lift maybe 1 inch more through the arms, but if not, no, okay? You go as far as it feels like you can hold and feel those shoulder blades pressing into your belt. Good, then slowly press through the heels, like slow motion. Press through the heels, through the heels, through the heels to come up and release through the arms. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Keep that because we're going to repeat it, okay? Bring the feet together. Good, and we are going to find that chair shape one more time. So whenever you're ready, feet together, or if they need to be a little wider, you keep them a little wider. And slowly first start with the arms and feel the connection with the shoulder joints, the upper back, sending the arms up as far as they go. Beautiful. And then whenever you're there, drag from the pelvic floor up towards the nose, I'm going to say, and you come down with the sitting bones and you press into your heels. Good. So the weight goes into the heels. Very good, guys. Inner thighs, they move towards one another, Stephen, okay? Even if you're not they are not touching, try to bring them energetically in. Beautiful. And whenever you're done and you're going to press to come out, I want you to do it slow motion, pressing through your heels like spikes into the earth. Good job, Phoebe. Keep the core moving in, okay? Firm the hips in and lengthen the spine. Beautiful. And then release through the arms. Ah, good. Stay there with the belt. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Okay, I'm not sure that you're going to like me too much now, but I'm going to move my blocks. I'm going to keep the belt exactly as it is, and I'm going to come into hands and knees. Okay. But once I get there, I'm going to take again my forearms down, my elbows under my shoulders. I'm going to lace my fingers. This cinching that I have, it actually feels good, right? So I want you to stay there first and breathe again into your belt. If you feel like it's too tight, right? And it's like cutting your blood flow, please soften it, making it a little looser, make it a little looser right from the front. Okay, good. But it should feel like you can feel it in your body. Good. From there, we are going to tuck our toes. And we are going to go to the posture we did before, right? The dolphin. So I'm going to push the mat away. I'm going to lift. Bring your feet a little closer and let that head dangle, okay? And be heavy. And as you're there, what I want you to do is to breathe into the belt again. Can you breathe and push the back of your shoulder blades into the belt? Good, Nilgun. Inner thighs back. Arms are super strong, right? Pressing through the forearms and elbows like spikes again. Good. Let the head drop. Breathe up into the harness and then release the knees down and rest there. Keep the belt just for a little bit more, but take a deep breath in and out a couple of times. Good. Beautiful. Okay, last one with this setup, okay? It's similar, but I'm going to say something before we go there. So I don't know, like you can do this or this, but as you are doing these exercises with the belt setup like this, can you feel like in the upper back more of like that connection? A little, I hope, because when we work on that like firmness and that power into the upper back, we are also kind of like isolating so we can release in the neck. And this is also teaching us, for the ones who I know who take yoga classes, that when we are doing postures like down dog or those things, if we have this work that now we feel it more in the upper back, then we are like more attuned to firming that area instead of tensing here when we are doing the postures, right? Because sometimes we compensate because of that lack of awareness or strength there, and we take it more in here. So that's why I find it super interesting and I like it. Okay. So now we are going to do one more thing with this same brace, let's say, and I'm going to again go with the forearms, with the hands laced, and I'm going to put again my shoulders above my elbows, triangle shape, and this time again as I'm pressing into my belt, so I feel how I'm like trying to widen my upper back into the strap. I'm going to extend one leg back, pressing through the base of my toes, pushing through the heel. I'm firing my right thigh muscles, okay? And then I'm doing the same with the left. So I'm coming into a plank. But I want you in this plank to keep pressing into the sticky with your forearms and elbows. And I want you to keep breathing into that brace, okay? Legs should be like fireflies, super like toned, right? And lifting the inner thighs back. Nilgun, hip down a little. Yes, good job. Push through the heels, push through the heels. Drag the navel forward and the crown of the head forward. Yes, crown of the head forward, okay? Good, then bring the knees down. Lisa, that looks good. And now you can loosen the belt way more than before and take it out. Get out, come to a child's pose. No belt, just rest in the child's pose for a moment and feel the sensations as you breathe there a couple of times, okay? We're gonna go into a different setup. Good. Very nice. Good. If you feel like you're ready to come up, come up. And now we are going to be using several things. First one that I want to tell you that we are going to be using is a piece of wall. So you will need to either get close to a wall if you have it, or it can be that maybe you have a coffee table that is close by, or the end of a bed, or the end of a sofa. Those work too, because we're not going to use the height, but just the lower portion, kind of like towards the baseboard. So if you have something low, you can use that, okay? Then I'm going to have a bolster. The bolster can be replaced by a pillow that it's big, or I'm going to show you a setup here that it can be a bolster. So 2 blocks and a blanket on top, and it looks pretty, oh, I'm not in the camera. It looks pretty much like having this, okay? So this can be good. Maybe it's a little bit harder. Well, my blocks are hard, so it might feel a little harder, but this can be a very good replacement, okay, of this. Then if you don't need these, right, then you won't need the blocks. But yes, the pillow, and yes, a blanket behind that pillow, then the wall, and then my belt again, but in a different way. We are going to use it, okay? Good. Now the belt, for sure, I know the measurement. We need to make it armpit to armpit distance. Okay, so I'm kind of like, you see here, it's a little big still. I'm trying to go, yeah, something like this. Armpit to armpit. Nice. Okay. Super. Once you have that, what we are going to also do a little bit of measuring is that I like lightly, right? Not doing big stuff, but lightly as you lie down a little bit onto your pillow, just touch behind you and see if you can reach that wall that you have behind, okay? Or chair, or it can be the legs of a chair also, chair or anything else, okay? So just touch there to make sure that you're more or less in the line of that wall, let's say, and that for sure you need to be able to reach at least with your fingertips onto that wall that you have. Okay, good. So now actions here. I'm going to lie down on my pillow or bolster or setup with my shoulder blades supported, and also my shoulders will be supported. I'm going to show you. So both shoulders and shoulder blades are on top of that. My head is going to be supported by that blanket that I have behind. Now, for me, the blanket kind of like the way that it's folded, that it's not too tall, it's okay. But when you come down, if you feel like your head is doing this, which my teacher calls it the decapitated posture, you don't want that, okay? You don't want to feel like this, like it's tensing, the opposite, because we are working our neck. So we want to have that as a nice support for the skull, okay? The belt, you're gonna keep it with you in your hands. I'm bringing, like I said, shoulders, shoulder blades into my bolster, head supported. Okay, good. Then from there, I'm going to put my belt inside my wrists. I mean, I'm putting my hands inside until my wrists are pulling into that belt. Okay, hopefully you can see it. And then if your lower back is okay, you can extend your legs and push through your heels. Okay. If that is not the case for you and you have lower back pain or issues in the discs or stuff going on, bend the knees, put the feet down, and you do the posture from here. Okay. So either or. Now, before we do anything, I want you to feel your shoulder blades kind of like kissing or holding into your pillow or your setup, okay? So try and press them or pin them into that pillow. And then I'm going to turn my palms so they face up as I'm moving my arms. Of course, I'm breaking into the belt, and I'm bringing my arms all the way back until I feel like I can touch my wall or legs of the chair or anything that you have there, okay? So keep pressing with the shoulder blades down onto your pillow. Extend your arms as much as you can as you break into the strap, and touch with your fingertips into your wall. If you're super close to the wall, you may need to move a little further out, okay? Because the idea is to keep those arms super straight, pressing into the belt and trying to reach and touch, okay? But it's not that you're pressing for like completely. Good. Keep pressing through your heels, activating the legs a little more, and take 3 breaths in this position. This is a very, very good way to open up the chest, to create again that strength in the upper back. Phoebe, if you can, walk your hands a little lower. Yes, towards the floor. Steven, you're back. I lost you, I think, for a second. Okay, so good. Keep extending through the elbows. Push the wall behind you. Good, Steven. I think maybe you missed it, right? So I'm going to just repeat. If the guys, if you need to get out, you you can just release the arms, and then I'll show you what we do next. Okay. So my shoulder blades and shoulders are on top of the pillow. My head is on top of my blanket, and I have my belts surrounding my wrists. Okay. And if your lower back is okay, you extend the legs. If not, you keep the knees bent. And from there, what I did was to turn my palms, bring my hands back, and try and touch my wall as low as I can go, okay? This was the first setup that we did. For the ones who already came out of this, Stephen, if you need time, just do this one, it's all good. I'm going to bring my arms up again, and now I'm going to move my belt all the way to my elbows. It's actually kind of like just above my elbows, okay? So a hair above my elbows. And now I'm gonna press, right? Again, with those forearms into the belt. Again, I'm going to kiss or pin my shoulder blades into my pillow. And again, I'm going to go all the way back with a little difference when we come all the way there. We are going to try and go as far down as we can. And I'm going to try and walk my hands away from one another. Okay, I know it's kind of funny because of course the belt won't let you go far, but see if you can do a little bit of walking the fingertips away from one another. And once you're there with the arms super straight, pin the shoulder blades down again into the bolster or the setup that you have. Stay there for 3 breaths. Okay. And Stephen, if you did the first version and you want to add the second, you can go there whenever. Okay. So we moved from the wrist to the elbows, and we did that setup again. Opening the chest. Breathe. Make sure the arms are super straight into the wall and release the neck. Okay, so we let the head drape back. This is also really good for the thyroid, the opening in the throat area. Press against that pillow, right, with the shoulder blades. And we use that belt as a fulcrum, right? So you really push into it, against it, really. So we release tissues around the shoulder socket. That's one of the actions of this exercise. Nice. Okay, then slowly bring the arms back up, and you can take that belt out to the side, okay? And I'll show you the way we come out, okay? So don't come out yet. Good, we are in this position, right? So you're going to bend your knees if they were not bent. You're going to lace the fingers and bring the hands behind the head. And we are going to do like the cat pose, elbows in, lifting as much as you can from here. Then put your hands down and push yourself up. Nice. Okay, I'm going to use my bolster again, or the pillow if you have a pillow, and I'm going to do it facing you guys so you can see me. So I'm going to sit at the very top and at the very end of my bolster, okay? And I'm going to bring my right heel towards my right sitting bone as close as I can bring it, while my left leg, I'm going to offset it, as you can see, a little bit out to the side. It's not huge and it's not straight, right? I'm doing just like 10, 15, 20 degrees, okay? Now hug that knee in as much as you can. Wait, I forgot. I want to modify this a little, okay? Sorry, because now I thought of something that is going to be super helpful for the neck. So I want to do this closer to the wall so I can use the wall. So if you have the wall there close by, stay close by. I'm gonna change this a little bit for me. So I'm gonna do it like this so you can see me. Okay, so wall is behind me now. I'm doing exactly the same as I showed you, but with my wall close by, okay? So I have these. Now that I'm here, legs offsetting to the left, right heel close to my right sitting bone, spine is tall. With my left arm, I'm going to grab that leg, the right one, in towards my body, okay? You can do this one or you can do this one as well. I don't mind, but I always start with this one so I set up myself and I feel my spine tall and I have more of a grip, okay? Push through the left heel, and with my right arm, I'm going to walk my wall behind me, okay? So now I'm going to be opening a lot in the front of the right shoulder. So you're going to walk your wall as far as it feels like it's enough for you, okay? So I'm walking with my right fingertips back, lifting the spine. And again, like I said before, option to bring the left elbow in front of the knee, or you keep it holding, keep the arm holding, okay? Lift through the spine, soften the mandible and the tongue, lift through the crown of the head, take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Good. A gentle invitation, you don't have to do it. If you feel okay in the neck and you want to test, you can bring the chin towards the left, which would be the top of your mat on the other side, right? Keep the chin above the chest and take a couple of breaths. If the hand or the arm that are at the wall start feeling like numbing, that means that you went maybe a little too far, you bring it a little closer, okay? And then we slowly release that arm. We come back to center, shake it a little, and extend the right leg. Nice. Good. Now I'm going to bend my left knee, bring that heel in. I'm going to offset my right leg out to the side and sit tall. Okay. Good. Once you have that, first feel your spine. My right arm is going to be the one going to the left to hold there and drag the belly over to the left. My left hand, I'm going to take it to the wall first to see that I'm close by. And then from there, I'm going to turn my hand towards the back of the wall and walk myself back. This may be an intense sensation, okay, in the front of the shoulder. So don't go extremely far if that feels that it's too much, of course, right? You always go to the place that it feels you are, I'm going to say, inviting your body to move to a new place, right? In a gentle way without forcing, okay? And whenever you feel like, okay, this is my place where I'm stopping and it's enough, that's enough. Good. Careful, Stephen, with the spine. Try to lengthen and lift the crown of the head. Yes. Ah, very good. Drag from the pelvic floor up, up, up. Okay. Soften the shoulders. Margie, that looks good. Now, slowly, if the neck is okay, you can bring it over towards the right. But if it does not feel good, go back to where it was. Okay. Good. Careful, Nilgun, don't push the neck too much, okay? Just keep it soft. Yes, good, good, good. Another breath. Then slowly return. Okay, very nice. Good. We still have a little bit of time, so I'm going to keep going in a peaceful manner the more I can, okay? Now I'm going to use my bolster or pillow or something that you have that it's representing this. You may need an extra blankie on top, okay? And we are going to take a downward facing dog where I'm going to let my head be supported by the bolster or the bolster and the extra lift, okay? Now, listen carefully. The support is not that I'm pressing my head into the bolster or that I'm trying to elongate my neck and reach. So it doesn't really matter which one is the height, is the one that really supports in the crown of the head or hairline, and it helps you be at ease in that balance between the two, okay? So I'm going to test it with you guys, and I'm going to put my hands outside the bolster, and I'm going to make sure that I'm using the pads of my thumbs, okay, like we did in the beginning, but with the regular shape for the down dog. So I'm pressing into my palm, spreading the fingers, and then I'm coming into that down dog, and I can feel how my hairline is supported, and I don't feel any pressure in my neck or that I'm trying to reach the bolster, okay? So find that place and drag the pelvic floor up, ribs in, relax the neck completely. This supported posture is very helpful also for the nervous system, Okay, so find that place for you and adjust it, add blocks or add anything if you need there. Arms should be straight, okay? Pressing gently the skull into the support without jamming the neck, okay? Take another breath. Now, can you press with the little finger side of your hands super long onto the mat and open the shoulder blades in a nice wide manner, like what we did with the belt. Remember when you were breathing into that? So see if you can do the same, spreading the wings. Very nice. Then slowly bring the knees down and rest for a moment in a child's pose. Okay, good. Super. I have like very little time left, but okay, I'm going to give two options for something that it's fun and it's a kind of a little bit of a culmination of a lot of the things that we've been doing. I'm going to use my wall in case I want to go further, but you don't have to. I'm going to use two blocks. So I'm going to give you option number one or version number one of what we are doing. My blocks are going to act as lifters of my feet, okay? And I'm going to take again that forearm down dog, okay? So my fingertips are laced. I'm pressing into my elbows, same things as before. I'm pushing the mat away and I'm going to find that place where I'm going to put my feet. So I'm going to do a more elevated down dog, okay, with my blocks. This is version number one, okay? Version number two is if you have a practice and you have a wall, same idea, close to the wall, elbows down, pushing the mat away, lifting without the blocks, but kicking. And what I'm doing here is release the head, the neck, and using the power that we did before with the belt, okay? So what I'm going to do there is to really breathe into that thoracic area if you're going there. But don't worry, you don't have to. If you want, you practice the one with the blocks. Put the blocks under the feet and make the down dog with the forearms elevated. Okay, put the blocks there and use them as a lift. Very good, Nilgun. That looks awesome. I want you to keep those shoulder blades right, active, firm, with space. That's good, Steven, sorry. Very nice. Phoebe, that looks awesome. Okay. Margie, good. Push those hips up and back. Good. And then bring the knees down and release. Ah, good, good, good. Sit back or take a child's pose. Good. Okay, I think I get maybe one more in, but take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Good. Okay. I'm going to go back to a loop with my belt and we are going to sit in the Virasana shape. So for me, I'm going to put a block in between my heels, okay? I'm going to sit like this, but I'm just showing you. It can be that you put a bolster. It can be that you put two pillows or one pillow or two blocks and you are a little bit more elevated even if you feel like your knees are sensitive or any reason why you need more height, okay? My heels are outside my hips, okay? And outside the block, I have one block there. Okay, so this is the shape. And then I have a loop, again, shoulder to shoulder distance. This one is a little different what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn around so you can see what I'm going to do, okay? So you have that shape that you're sitting. And now what I'm going to do is, watch, I'm going to bring my left arm behind and I'm going to put the belt inside, right above my elbow, okay? I'm going to take the buckle out. So I just want to show you like this so you see, even though you're sitting, okay? So now what I'm going to do with that left arm is that I'm going to bend the elbow and put the hand into the kidney area or the lower back. And you're going to spread that hand as much as you can, okay? Like I'm showing. And with your right arm, watch what I'm doing. I'm going to pull, 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 extending my right arm. You see how my elbow came in more? That's what I want us to do, okay? Now, soften the shoulders, right? And feel that action of the shoulder blade moving into the back of your body as you extend through the opposite arm, the right one. Very good. Keep the neck soft, even though it's lifting, right? Like buoyant up towards the skies. And feel that connection into the back, okay? Beautiful. Take another deep breath. Good. Then slowly release. And take that hand out and shake it a little. Very nice. Second side, I'm going to go there, right? Even though you cannot see me from behind, right? But I'm going to do the same thing. This time, I'm putting my right arm behind. I'm putting the belt in, and I'm going to catch it with my left side, okay? Left hand. And I'm going to place that right hand behind. And then I'm going to spread the fingers first. I'm sitting tall, softening the shoulders. And once I'm ready, I'm going to start extending my left arm and pulling, 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 pulling. Feel that elbow moving into the back of your body, okay? As far as you can. Now relax the shoulders, feel the throat. Good, and then release. Shake it a little. Okay. One of the last ones. So same shape, right? Shoulder distance apart. Now I'm going to show you from behind, same thing, but both hands inside, both arms, right above the elbows, both hands touching in the lower back, okay? And as you get there, right, we cannot adjust the belt from there. It's a little hard, but move those shoulder blades down your back, right? So not lifted, but down. And imagine someone cinching your belt and bringing the elbows a little closer to one another. So you're trying to kind of like even like move away from your belt instead of breaking into it. Now keep pressing with your palms down with your fingertips towards your tail. Good, and look at what I want us to do from here today. So let's say you're sitting, right? I hope you can see me, yeah. You're sitting, so you're going to lean forward a little, try and walk your hands a little higher, and then you're going to return to your seat. See if you can do that one. It's a little more intense, okay? Good. Idil, you're surviving, I hope. Good. Okay, super. You feel that like more of the action in the upper back? Okay, then release the arms, undo the belt and shake it a little. Oh my God, that's a lot of work. Good. So take a deep breath in, a deep breath out. What you just did with the belt that we did one and then the other and then both, does it remind you of something? You're not able to answer because you're all like muted, but this is very much what we do when we do a shoulder stand. So those are the actions, right? We bring those shoulder blades towards one another. We try to lift the hands as high up as we can, and those elbows go in, so we can open up here the chest. But all of the work that we did before towards this is what builds, because the more we work on that power, then it's easier, right? To create that action when we lift into that shoulder stand that we are not going to do because we don't have the time, but that those are the actions that we want to do. And that's why many times, at least when I'm studying and practicing in my alignment classes, we do even the shoulder stand with that belt, exactly like what we did now. So we pass one arm and then we get up into the shoulder stand and then we pass the other arm and we feel that connection behind, okay? Good. So Now what I want you to do, guys, is to come onto your back for a moment again, like the way we started, but hug your knees into your chest and roll a little bit side to side. Beautiful. Just a little bit of rocking side to side. If you feel like doing a little bit of twist, right? Both knees to one side and then both knees to the other side. Beautiful. And then just roll. Well, I don't want to make you go fast. So if you're doing the twist to one side, then the other. And then whenever you feel ready, you roll over to one side and you sit up to end in a seated position, okay? So add the pillow, bolster, blankie, anything that you want. And find the cross-leg position. Balance your sitting bones. Relax there. You can even use your hands into the flesh of your buttocks to spread a little bit and feel a little bit more of the ground in there. And then turn your palms up towards the ceiling and close your eyes. Bring the back of your skull towards the ceiling lightly as the eyes descend. Upper ribs and collarbones lifted like clouds up towards the skies. Release the mandible and the tongue down. Bring soft strokes of breath that help you slow down. Expand on the inhalation. Let the intercostal muscles open up as you breathe. Shavasana brain. Eyes cultivating serenity. Let the effects of this practice sink. Making the breath slow, steady, fluid. Connect with the space that you regained and created in your physical body through the practice. And feel that space helping you also expand into the heart center, giving also room in your heart and your mind. Then we slowly and gently bring the palms together into the heart center. Feel your shoulder blades moving down your back gently without force. The expansion in the upper portion of the chest, the buoyancy in the neck and the back of the skull. Soft face, kind eyes. In gratitude for these practices that we have access to help us ground, make space, connect with ourselves, our bodies, our habits, our emotions, mainly our breath. We bow in to the heart.